Aleksander Vitkin here. Are you looking to become a Google Ads freelancer and potentially build an agency business doing that? This isn't some nice to have skill. Businesses are desperately looking for people who can do this right. It's all about results, and they will pay top dollar if you can actually get them those results. We're talking about getting started as a Google Ads freelancer, and then if you've got the ambition to scale that bad boy into an agency pulling in $50K a month or more potentially. This isn't a video about another one of those get rich quick fantasies. Let me hit you up with the truth. Is $50K a month possible with Google Ads, running that as a business and offering that as a service? Absolutely. I work with lots of people doing that and more. Is it easy? Absolutely the opposite of easy. So whatever you think is easy, it's the polar opposite of that. It's the opposite of riding a bicycle. It is super difficult. So it takes serious work, real marketable skills, and a smart strategic approach based on facts and data, based on existing agencies and implementing processes from existing agencies. If you've seen my videos on becoming a freelance web developer, and a ton of you have, you'll recognize the playbook here. We're using that same proven structure, that same lead generation process, but today it's laser focused on mastering Google Ads as a service. The technical skills are different, the learning path is different, but the business building principles, they're rock solid and proven, and they're quite similar to building a tech agency. I'm going to lay out the entire roadmap for you, how to get the skills, how to land those first critical clients, and then how to scale up from a one-person show to a full-blown agency. If you are serious, and I mean very serious, about developing a highly profitable in-demand skill in 2025, then you absolutely need to watch this entire video. Every single business on this planet, from the local plumber down the street to a massive e-commerce giants, they need one thing above all else, or otherwise they will fail, and that is customers. And where do people go right now when they're actively looking to buy something, to solve a problem, to find a service? They go to Google. It's where the intent is to buy, the buyer intent. It's still there, and that is where the ads go. If you can step in and effectively manage a company's Google Ads budget, if you can take their ad spend and turn it into a positive return on investment and ROI, you become incredibly, almost instantly valuable to that company, and they don't want to really hire people to do that. If they can avoid it, they want to use an agency because it's just more smooth. There's more know-how in an agency. You're not just running ads, you're transforming their marketing from potential money pit into a predictable profit machine. And the beauty of it, if you turn your freelance career to an agency like that, where you offer a service like that, is it scales quite well. For an agency, it scales quite well. You can go from handling a few small local accounts to running an agency managing massive six-figure monthly ad spends. Obviously your fee would correspond to, someone who manages a higher ad spend. So here's the absolute key, and you need to get this. Google Ads is a direct revenue lever skill. So you're not a cost center. You're not some vague marketing expense. You're directly, measurably impacting their bottom line. When you can walk into a business or show them a report and say, look, I spent $1,000 of your money on ads last month and it brought you $5,000 in sales, you are golden. They're not going to get rid of you very easily. That is an incredibly powerful position to be in, and it's why this skill commands high fees of between $1,000 a month to $7,500 a month. So what are the phases to mastering Google Ads to a point where you can run this as a business and be a freelancer? So getting the actual skills, and let me be clear, this isn't just about knowing how to plug in a few keywords and hit go. There's a real art and a definite science to doing this effectively. First up, the core campaign management skills. This is your bread and butter. If you listen to Google only for all your advice, you'll get wrecked. They don't really know how to make their own platform profitable for advertisers, and their advice is too vanilla. So yes, you'll learn by taking their certificate courses, but you'll also learn elsewhere, because they will teach you the basics, and elsewhere is where you learn the real juice. After you learn the basics and there are millions of rules. You need to become a beast at keyword research. This means truly understanding what your client's ideal customers are typing into Google when they're ready to buy, not just when they're browsing. It's about intent. Then ad copywriting. That headline, those description lines, they're critical. Your ad copy needs to grab attention, perfectly match the search query, scream benefits, and have a crystal clear call to action. You've got to understand bidding strategies. Google's got a whole arsenal of automated options. Maximize clicks, target CPA, target ROAS, and more. You need to know which one to deploy and when, and understand how Google's AI plays into this. You need to be proficient across all major campaign types: search, display, YouTube ads, shopping campaigns, app campaigns, and you need to know how to target the right audiences within each. Do the Google certificates first for all those to get the basics down. And maybe most importantly, performance analysis and optimization. This is what separates the pros from the amateurs who just set it and forget, because then, who needs an agency if they just set it and forget? You need to live and breathe the metrics: click-through rates, conversion rates, quality score, cost per click, and the holy grail, return on ad spend, ROAS. You're constantly analyzing, tweaking, and improving. That is what a Google Ads freelancer and also an agency would do, using obviously freelancers in their team. So next up, listen, because you need to learn Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager. You must master these. These are the tools that allow you to accurately track what's happening, to track conversions, and to understand the full customer journey, often beyond just the Google Ads click. Without proper conversion tracking, you are flying blind. Seriously, if you can't track what's working and what's not, you can't optimize. And you absolutely cannot prove your value to the client. They will just, the moment their revenue or whatever goes down, they will fire you instead of someone else, because you cannot prove that you're making the money. So you have to be able to prove you're making the money, and then you're basically gonna retain the clients for 9 months, which is, the ideal amount of time. More is good, but if you get an average of 9 months, it's incredible for an agency. And yeah, go get your Google certifications only through Google. You don't need some other external certifications. Just for the basics, just go through the Google Skill Shop. It's their free resource. They build a solid foundation and they show commitment, and some clients do look for them. So it's a good starting point. It's kind of silly to try to sell Google Ads without getting certified. So how do you learn all this stuff without spending years in a cave? Because a lot of the stuff is quite technical, especially the landing page and tracking stuff. Then if you like a more structured approach, look into online courses like Coursera, Udemy, and God forbid, LinkedIn Learning, although it's getting better. And by the way, yeah, my program at businessmeta.com covers where to go and what to do, especially for the business skills, not so much technical, because technical skills are everywhere almost for free. So in a very practical step-by-step way, we cover all of those, just not so much technical stuff, but we'll tell you, here's a $20 course you can take, it's trivial. But once you're ready for the business stuff, just go to businessmeta.com. Keep in mind, you're just learning enough to be able to hire freelancers to help you. We aren't just building technical skills here and then offering our time and hours for money, but you do need a certain extent of technical skills. So otherwise you'll just sound ridiculous and you won't be able to hire very well, and it just won't work. You cannot just be a Google Ads expert without knowing Google Ads. You cannot run even a business selling Google Ads if you're basic level at Google Ads. You do need to spend 2 hours a day basically forever studying stuff on Google Ads. You cannot just get some certificates and then hire a freelancer. It's not quite that easy. For tools, keep it simple and free to start: Google Keyword Planner, Google Ads Editor, and GA and GTM. That's literally all you need to get going and land your first clients to do relatively simple campaigns for. Okay, so you're building those skills and you're getting a little bit dangerous. You're getting some stuff that you can actually talk about on a sales call. So what now? How do you get those actual clients? How do you get someone to pay you for this? We're going to use the same proven funnel that I've talked about for web developers and other freelancers, and it works really well. Start with Upwork and Fiverr. Now, I know some people scoff at these platforms and it's cheap and it's this and that, but listen, clients are already there. They're actively posting jobs, looking for Google Ads help right now. You don't have to convince them they need it. Create a killer profile, and I mean killer. Tailor it specifically to Google Ads. Highlight your skills, your certifications, and most importantly, focus on the results you can get for them. More leads, more sales, and better ROI. I have some videos on this channel that show you exactly how to write all of that, so it's in the description. Your proposals need to be compelling. Don't just send a generic bid. Read their project, understand their needs, and maybe offer a quick free mini audit for their existing account on a live call, obviously, if they have one, or some initial keyword ideas. Show them you know your stuff. Now, if you're serious about hitting those bigger numbers, that 50K a month or more, you're almost certainly going to need to transition from being a solo freelancer to building an actual agency. This means systems, it means a team, and it means a fundamental shift in your mindset. I have a framework I teach. It's called the 7 Pillars of a Scalable Business, and it applies perfectly to building a Google Ads agency. So here's a quick rundown. There's a whole video you can watch, but here's a quick rundown. Pillar number 1 is product market fit. For an agency, this means really defining your Google Ads services. Are you going to niche down by industry, like e-commerce or local services, or by service specialization, like focusing only on YouTube ads or shopping ads? Niching down gives you serious differentiation and pricing power, but overall product market fit is what to sell, who to sell it to, and where to sell it. So if you get that right in the beginning, everything is much easier. So pillar number 2 is advanced lead generation. So you need to fill up your pipeline. You need to have at least 4 sales calls with qualified leads every single week. If you get to 6, 7, that's basically enough to run a $40,000 a month Google Ads agency. But you need to perform on those sales calls. So you need some level of sales training. Otherwise, you will just sound ridiculous and they will just buy from someone else. Which brings me to pillar number 3, sales. This isn't just about setting proposals anymore. It's about consultative selling on an actual sales call. Deeply understanding a potential client's business goals, their challenges, and then crafting professional proposals that detail your strategy, the budget, and expected outcomes, and your terms. You're selling business growth, not just clicks in an ad or on an ad. So then pillar number 4 is a delivery system. This one is especially critical for Google Ads. For a Google Ads agency, you need to understand standard operating procedures for everything. It sounds really technical, but it isn't. So client onboarding, campaign setup, keyword research processes, and so on. So for a Google Ads agency, your delivery system is arguably the most vital pillar for sustainable growth, because the other stuff like lead gen, at least the way we do it at businessmeta.com, it's not the hardest part. The hardest part is actually keeping your clients long term. This stuff is data driven. It needs constant optimization. You're dealing with client money, with their money, and the platform is complex. If your systems suck, your results will suck and your client will leave. And if you hire the wrong people, they'll leave. So that brings you to pillar number 5, hiring your team. You can't do it all yourself. If you want to scale, you'll need to hire your other Google Ads experts that are way better than you, because you're going to learn like the 20% that you need to be able to run the business and to sell and to hire. You don't need to learn everything. So maybe you also need copywriters or data analysts. Then you need basically strategic hiring and effective delegation skills. And if you don't learn that, start small. If you don't start small and learn it, you will not really be able to scale. Then pillar number 6 is project management. For dealing with your clients as the communication person in your company that deals with the clients. Then pillar number 7 is automation. So automating the systems in your business. Otherwise, you're going to have so much staff, it's going to be a pain in the you-know-what. For pricing your agency services, one method is percentage of your ad spend, so usually 10-20%, scaling with the client's budget. A flat monthly fee, this is what we usually recommend, predictable for you and the client, and it's none of this like weird low in the beginning, higher in the middle, and so forth and so on. Because once they start paying crazy money, they're just going to fire you and steal your campaigns and hire someone cheaper. So then there's the hybrid model. So maybe a base flat fee plus a smaller percentage of ad spend or performance bonus, or even just performance based, where your fee is directly tied to hitting specific outcomes like lead gen and sales and client retention. This can work. It's just I wouldn't do that without also including a flat fee of at least $1,000, and also once you're doing really well with high client retention. So be transparent about your management fees. Clients appreciate that, and as you grow, you might even explore white labeling Google Ads services. So use white label partners where other agencies deliver under your brand, and you need no staff. You just do lead gen and sales, and they do all the work under your name. But you need to manage your margins carefully with that. That's the difficult part of making those deals in the first place, and then negotiating their rates. It's not for beginners. So, and yes, you'll hit hurdles. You'll deal with ad disapprovals. You'll have campaigns with low conversion rates that you need to troubleshoot. It's often the landing page, not just the ad, and a million other problems. When you run an agency, you're running almost like a part of someone else's business inside of your business. So hiring and retaining good talent is the most important thing. Like one good person can do the work of 7 people when you hire the right people, and it's huge. So let's circle back to that $50,000 a month figure. Is it real? Yes, it absolutely is. I've seen people achieve it and more. I work with people right now who have like much bigger agencies than that, but this is a big but. It demands massive effort, serious skill development, and a significant investment of your time. You need to dedicate a lot of your life, like throughout the year, a lot of your time to doing this. Google Ads is not a set and forget platform. It needs constant attention, constant learning, and constant adaptation, because Google is always changing things. The best way to get to 50K a month and beyond is to follow a proven process from existing working agencies. It is very, very difficult to do it otherwise. And everyone I talk to who tries by themselves, they struggle like crazy. So what's your action plan starting today? 1, commit, and I mean really commit to learning those core Google Ads skills we talked about. You don't need everything from the start. 2, get your feet wet on freelancing platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. And 3, focus relentlessly, obsessively on delivering positive ROI for every single client you work with. 4, if you have ambitions to scale big, start thinking about and implementing those 7 pillars for building a real agency. So systematize everything. 5, this is a lifelong one. Embrace continuous learning. The Google Ads world never stands still, and neither should you. It just the competition is too tough. Now, if you're looking for a more structured path and you want mentorship from people who are actually doing this right now successfully, and if you want to be part of a community that's all about building real skills and legitimate, profitable businesses that deliver great results to clients, then I invite you to check out businessmeta.com. So we've got a program specifically designed to help you. Got questions about anything I covered, about Google Ads, freelancing, about building an agency, about specific challenges, drop them in the comments section below. I do my best to read and answer as many as I can. So click the video below that covers the videos, there's multiple videos that cover the game plan to get your first client. It's right there, it's for free, it's on YouTube. See you in the next video.